hear me well?
Yes. Hi, and welcome back to Woman's Heart Podcast on VOE Network. I'm your host, Edna Howard, founder of Voices of Encouragement. It's an organization designed to empower women. And I'm super excited you're joining me for another empowering message because this year we're shining the spotlight on mindset, lifestyle, wellness, and business. And we're doing mindset for the first 3 months of the year. And we're in our last month of the first quarter. And I'm so excited that you're joining me because we have an awesome guest today. Her name is Mattrice Williamson, and I am honored to have her on the show. And Mattrice is a military missionary, and she has spent nearly 3 decades leading, coaching, mentoring, and supporting military families. And as a way of life, she has navigated through new homes, careers, communities, 17 times in 29 years. Wow. She has a passion for legacy building, which she feels has paved her way throughout her adult life. And she is a wife of a United States Marine, a mother of 3 grown adult children, and she has been inspired and encouraged to find her voice and tell her story to encourage others to do the same. Her purpose and passion drives her to continue leading and motivating others to be mission ready for whatever life has to come. And she is currently employed as a CEO, her brand new company, CEO of Professional Momentous Events, LLC, also known as PME. Her business was created with the purpose to design, plan, and execute events with unique sense of purpose in style and creativity, offering a boutique quality experience for clients to share their precious moments in life, all while saving her clients time, money, and energy. Mattrice is a real-life superhero, kicking in doors and taking names, and an awesome woman of faith. Welcome to the show today, Mattrice.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I was listening. I was like, ooh, who is that?
It's you, girl. It's you. Awesome, Mattrice. She is a superhero. I mean, she's just doing it all. I love it. So we're excited to have you today. And we were going to jump right on in because I would love for you to share from your heart who you are and what makes you get up in the morning.
Absolutely. Well, that is very interesting. You asked about what makes me get up in the morning because I was up early this morning. So I think first we're going to say the Lord.
Yes.
Sometimes the alarm clock is not waking me up in the time that I went to bed thinking I'm going to wake up at a certain time. So sometimes I'm just inspired by what the Lord is putting on my heart in that moment. And I'm becoming, as I get older and more mature, listening more intently to that voice when I wake up.
Yes.
And that voice speaks to me and tells me what I'm going to do that day. And then I thank the Lord for it. So really, as a visionary creative is how I like to describe myself, because the idea fairy, my husband has named me at one point, comes alive every single day in different ways. So I like to visualize the different things that I'm going to do. I'm the kind of person who can't pick their outfits out too many days in advance because it depends on how I feel when I wake up that day.
There you go.
So there's a lot of feeling and emotions and in my life and what I express each and every day. So it really is an inspiration to just wake up and see what the Lord has for me that day.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. That is such a great answer. So tell us a little bit about your journey and who and what has helped shape you to become the woman you are today, the business owner that you are today.
Well, it starts with my village. I have a huge village, and I've had the opportunity to slow down a little bit in my life in this last couple of years. We all really slowed down with the pandemic to really kind of assess the different parts of my life and the journey. I recently celebrated a milestone birthday. I turned 50 last summer in August, so I was excited to be able to celebrate that milestone. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, she did not live to 50. She passed away when she was 48. And so it's a blessing to be able to live and accomplish and achieve that milestone of a birthday, a birth year. And so my village of women, I think, is really what has carried me through this journey in my life. There are so many women who have been placed in my life at different times and different seasons. And as you mentioned, as a military spouse, we have moved 17 times in 29 years and
Wow.
counting. So I can never say that my village is in one place. I just know that I am the village people. I am moving from one place to the next and
Right.
finding those people who are going to be in my community. One of the most important, I would say, key mentors in my life, and this was before mentors was really used, was my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, I would say my granny, she's my granny. She was the person who gave me the confidence and the self-confidence, and I didn't even realize it. And I thought about that in thinking about when I was about 7 years old. My grandmother would give me some money. I would go down to the corner store. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm a Washingtonian. And I would go down to the corner store and I would buy a newspaper, the Washington Post, a pack of Cools, a loaf of bread.
Pack of Cools.
A pack of Cools, loaf of bread. And I could get something for myself. But the one thing I always had to remember, I had to bring her change back. I don't care what I bought. I had to come back with some change. So that helped me really early on learn the independence of going out and doing things on my own. And of course, this was a different season. This was back in the 70s. So you could send a 7-year-old down the street by herself with some money. But those kinds of things in my life really have helped me establish myself as today's business owner and entrepreneur and visionary founder and leader and superhero and all those good things. So yes, ma'am, my granny. Yes.
Awesome. I love that your grandma was, your granny was the one that kind of instilled that in you. And it's funny because sometimes you don't even know, and you're just going through the motions. And as you get older, you realize what granny did for you, which is a blessing. And I love the fact that you said you have a tribe. You have a tribe of women, and it's movable. It's not just in one place. It's like wherever you go, you got a tribe. So that's amazing, because a lot of women don't have that. So to have a tribe and be able to plug into the right tribe is important. I love that. So what keeps you motivated and focused to continue to elevate the work that you do in the military community? Because you're an advocate for the military community and you find joy in that. So tell us a little bit about how that keeps you motivated, keeps you moving.
And that is a really, that takes me to a different place when I think about it, because it's something that I live every day, and it's not something that most people think about. Our military community in the United States, is the people who put on the uniform and serve, is less than 1% of our nation. It's an all volunteer force. So that means there's no draft. So everyone who puts the uniform on is volunteering their service and to sacrifice everything for their country. So some of my passion comes from just knowing that I have an opportunity to be a part of this very unique tribe, community, if you will. And the drive and motivation comes from me living through 29 years of doing this. And many of us who are old enough to have lived through a period in time in life in our current day, which was September 11, 2001, can relate a little bit to the feeling of wanting to have a national security, to willing to say, yes, I will volunteer to protect our country and our freedoms. And one of the favorite scenes in a movie is from A Few Good Men. And it says that, you sleep under the blanket of security that we provide. And that's a true statement, because I'm married to a Marine and I know what that means. I know the sacrifices that our friends have made, the ultimate sacrifices of giving their life for their country. I am the mother of a Marine as well. So it really spans, throughout my family. So it's a part of who we are. For us, it's a part of our purpose as a family, as a unit. I feel that it is truly a mission for us by God that we have been given this opportunity to do this for so long and for so many years and for such great reason. I believe in it. I believe in protecting it because we think about our religious freedom, our freedom to do whatever it is that we want. And sometimes that becomes debatable, but still it's a freedom that we have. And I just don't take it lightly, but I am honored to be able to have it as a privilege to serve alongside my husband for these 29 years. I love to pay it forward and help others thrive in this life as well. So it really does become a daily inspiration for me to get up and say, yeah, it was tough for you yesterday, but somebody has it harder than you did. So just get on up and get going.
I love it. And then too, Mattrice, I know we talked a little bit about your mentoring and encouraging women that are at the same ranks as you are. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about that group that you have you have formed, and that's a blessing as well. I mean, you are helping so many women.
So I keep saying 29, like, you know, how people say 29 and holding. We get into 30 real quick. So 30 years is a long time, 3 decades, right? So when I start thinking about 3 decades of doing anything, it just kind of takes me back. So 3 decades of living this kind of life, I look back to experiences that I had when I was a young Marine wife, mom, officer wife in the community that was even smaller. When you start thinking about the officer community is a much smaller group of people within the military itself. The enlisted population is just naturally larger. So then you look at that. Then you look at a smaller group, which is the minority population, African Americans within the military community. So my group, I started back during the pandemic, which many of us have that testimony of starting something new. I'm not a baker, so I did not bake soda bread or whatever people were baking in the kitchen. I decided to, you know, start a group. I started a group.
Right. You started a group. You didn't go to the baking side.
Everybody had their thing they had to start. I couldn't go bake.
I love it.
So started this group because I felt like I was missing something, and I was missing the community and the fellowship and the getting out. I'm an extrovert. So that was just one of those things that as I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, what does it look like? Who do I want to talk to? So growing up in this military community and this Marine Corps community, I didn't see a lot of people who looked like me. I would look for them and I didn't see them. I learned a lot of things along the way from many, many people. Many wives specifically. I know we have a way of being inclusive and saying spouses, and that's accurate. But during my old school days, we were all wives. There weren't male spouses when I grew up early on. And I had wives who would tell me, you know, Mattrice, this is how you do this, or this is where you need to connect. And so when I started this group, BOSS is what we're called, Building Our Support System. The BOSS ladies. One of the things that I wanted to do was to give others who looked like me the opportunity to connect with people like me. So it was just a natural fit. I knew what I didn't have. I knew if I had it, how I would have felt. So I created something that I would have enjoyed being a part of. And now as more of the mentor and senior person, I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the network. I literally just had 2 people sign up to join our monthly call just this past week. And so our network is growing organically, as you and I were talking about. And it feels good to have it grow organically where someone says, hey, I know someone who would benefit from this group. Minority spouses, married to minority officers within the Marine Corps community. And it provides us with, again, a really strong village of Marine Corps officer spouses of color.
I love it. You're creating a model, right? This model you're creating, you can go and implement it on any place you need to go, right? Not just where you are now, but like grow it. So you could, this is just the beginning, I believe. I mean, it's a lot you'll be able to offer and to grow that aspect of and that part of the business side of you as well, kind of making sure you mature this and it grows and you have the right women that are signing up and that you continue these conversations on a monthly basis. I love it. So what's next for you?
My book.
Awesome.
My book is on the horizon. I was up this morning, today, 1:30 a.m., bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like it was 7 o'clock in the morning. So I said, okay, Lord, here we go. It was like when you're in labor and you get that labor pain. And then when you go into labor, it's no particular time of day, right? And for me, most of my, I think 2 out of the 3 were like in the middle of the night. And so I felt like this was one of those times where that labor pain came and I had to get up and I had to, get to my laptop and start taking it to the next level. So I have, I'm working with an editor. I am to the point now where I know that by this summer, the book will be in print. I also feel like this is very timely because as I'm starting my business, it's connecting me to completing something that I will have tangible to show a work that I have started and completed. And that's just a rewarding feeling in and of itself. I know that in business, that you got to start.
Right. You just got to get started.
You just got to start. You just got to start. Like I said, you got to start somewhere. And so like business, writing a book, there was a starting point. And I know that unlike business, there's an ending point where you actually stop writing and you send it out and it becomes a book. But some of the processes feel very similar. And a lot of it has to do with putting away the fear and walking in faith. So whether it's your business or whether it's your book writing or whether it's starting something new, whether it's a group or a podcast,
right, or whatever's new. Yes, you're
whatever
putting yourself out there, right? I tell women all the time, I was like, you're in the arena. Once you get in the arena, right, you're putting yourself out there, and when you're in the arena, you have to be transparent, right, and being intentional. And what happens, Mattrice, is you're putting yourself in front of, you're being seen. And when you're being seen, people have their opinions. And so it doesn't matter. You still just be seen and still stand in the arena and do what God has called you to do. So I always encourage folks who are starting out anything new to make sure you plug into that side of you, that courageous side of you, that no matter what, you just standing tall. You start in a business, you're writing a book, you created a group, you probably will have a podcast one day, so, and a blog. So you have all of this. And you just have to stand in it and know that God is going to continue to bless it.
Amen. Amen. All the things.
He will give you all of that. And you just have to stay obedient to him and walk in it. So what is the biggest risk you've taken since you've grown your event planning business? I mean, you started, right? So what was the risk within even starting? I mean, you have any feedback there for us?
I think the risk, you just hit it on the head. It was just that sense of doing something big and audacious and hairy and not knowing what it was going to be like on the other side of the, the start button. A lot of analogies kind of come to my head. That's that idea theory, just thinking about things. But one of the things that I think about to kind of give our visual people, I was also a teacher in my former life. So I know that there are different types of learning styles. So as people are listening, the visual that I could say with my words is a toothpaste tube. So if you ever try to squeeze a toothpaste tube and you get too much toothpaste, you can't put it back in, right?
That's true.
So I feel like, at this point now, I've gotten out there and I've become vulnerable enough to expose myself to everyone who I'm sharing this opportunity with for professional Momentous events, to be vulnerable enough to let doors close, allow doors to open, to walk through the journey, to walk in faith and not fear. Because at this point now, I'm glad that the toothpaste tube is open and it's out there, because I don't want to have to put it back, because it was in there safe where I was holding all of my gifts, talents, abilities, and skills. And now I feel like I have the opportunity to offer it to others. Like if I have the ability to do these things, not even the ability, the experience, I have put in the work, I have put in the effort, I have gotten a master's degree in hospitality management and international and global protocol and etiquette. And I have been holding this in for the past 7 years.
Time to blow up. I love it.
What is wrong with you, girl? What do you need to say?
What else? Right. Exactly. Right. You got everything. You got everything you need.
Go out there, you got to do it. You got to do it in faith and not fear. And I will say that is really probably my biggest takeaway from myself. And I'm going to practice what I preach. So yeah, that's how I can say my risk was worth was worth taking.
Awesome. And we're glad that you did, because we can't wait to see what's next for you as you're moving through this business and making things, rocking things. I always say rocking the boat, making things happen. We see your events on TV. We're going to start seeing your events in magazines. I'm excited.
Yes.
So how can you keep a positive mindset, and how have you kept a positive mindset and push through adversity, and not only in business, but in life? Because like you said, you've moved several times. You've had so many challenges that you've had to navigate. So tell us how you keep that positive mindset. I
allow myself to cry.
Need to do that.
I allow myself to express my emotions. Because once I do, then I feel better. And that's really a different way of looking at having a positive mindset. The positivity comes after you have released some of the other emotions, in yourself. And so I haven't always been that honest with myself. I've been, a lot of times, whether it's women of color, just life, you told to,
be tough, be strong. Don't you cry. Don't you cry, Mattrice.
My oldest would say she was very sensitive, and I was disciplining the kids, and I was like, and don't you cry, I'll give you something to cry about. She was like, Mommy, that's so mean. Why would you say I'm gonna give you something to cry about? She already crying. So and I think about it, we have all of this stuff that we have been taught through our communities, our culture, our society, that we really need to go counter to those things. So again, one, allowing ourselves to emote safely, allowing ourselves to the freedom to have different types of feelings and say it's okay to have them. Like you can have them, but then you got to give yourself permission to have it, so that
it process
it so that it feels more normal. And so from that, I think that for me is another way of saying grace.
I love it. I love it. And giving yourself some grace. that is a blessing. I love that. So what is your superpower? What makes you unique? Why would I come to you for an event? Why would I come to Mattrice Williamson to say, hey, I need you to create this amazing event for me? What's your superpower?
My superpower is visualize the superhero with the kapow, the bang. I have the pop. I have the pop. The planning on purpose is my motto, is my new motto for my business. Pop. When I think about people, I think about purpose. And I really feel this connection to people and purpose for whatever it is they want to do. Whether it's to have a coffee, just one-on-one, it's purpose. It's an event.
Yes, it is.
It's an event, right? So I think that, again, just being in this event space, we want to define it in so many broader ways, but it could just really be defined as a simple meeting with someone else. And I feel like that is truly my superpower, because I like to connect with people and to people, find out who they are, where they've been, what they enjoy doing, how they like to celebrate. I love to celebrate. And I love to celebrate all types of things. And so I think that allowing myself to share that with others is really a superpower that I'm learning. Just like superheroes, they have superpowers and they get them and they don't know how to use them when they first get them, right?
Exactly. And and in addition to that, nobody tells them that they got the power. I just, it blows my mind every time. It's like, oh, you're just figuring this out because your parents didn't want you to know you were so powerful.
And then you got the antagonist. You got the person that's, you know, got a superpower that's working against you. So then that's like the enemy, but you still have the power. You still have that ability. You just have to learn to use it and to use it against the enemy so that you are victorious, you know. So that superpower within each and every one of us is great. But again, I think it's a great kind of way of thinking about myself because I'm learning how to use it. I'm learning how to engage with people purposefully.
I love it. So you're honing that skill. You're honing your superpower. It's getting better and better and better and better. I love that. So what is one piece of advice, Mattrice, you can give to someone who may be looking at becoming a CEO of their own event planning business?
This is good because I just did
it. So walk us through that. What's one piece of advice you can give?
I went out and found my network. I started to write down names, go through my my phone contact list. I started to look at my Facebook group people and started to think about, who do I know? I reached out to you. I started to engage my network, period, whether they were in business, like similar to the one I want, or not, it didn't matter. I just started to reach out to my network, reach out to people, engage with people, ask questions. One of the things that I would say I'm learning each and every day is ask good questions, asking good questions, asking the right questions, not necessarily, you know, we say sometimes, you know, ask the hard question. I don't know what the hard question is. The hard question is the one I don't know.
It's coming.
Right?
Every day there's going to be a new one. Right?
Exactly. So, you know, I'm learning to ask good questions as I go through this, and being open to learning something new, learning to do something new, especially if you get to a point in your life where maybe it's a season where you are doing a career change, or you're taking a passion and turning it into a career, whatever it is. I think that it's really, really good to connect with the people you know. So utilizing your network and asking good questions. When you contact them, ask good questions.
That is excellent, excellent advice. So as you being a successful coach, business owner, mentor, community impact leader, and military wife, we love the fact that you are doing everything under the sun that God has given you to do. And we appreciate you. So thank you for being on the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Edna, for having me. I have been so blessed and honored to be a part of this Woman's Heart podcast. Thank you so much.
And we appreciate you so much. So thank you. And Mattrice, we're saying to you, could you please give us information? So if someone wants to get in touch with you, they have an event, or they heard something, and all of the gold nuggets that you dropped today and the gems of wisdom that you've given, someone may want to reach out to you. So how can they get in touch with you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram at promo, PRO _ my events. And that's on Instagram. I'm also I have a website at mypromoevents.com. And my phone number, I have a business line, 540-405-6885. So you can reach me there. And I just learned I could Google myself. I am now on Google.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you can
Google professional Momentous events. You will see it for yourself. Just Google me and I'm right there.
I love it. Thank you again. So, well, that's a wrap. And I hope you were able to capture, again, some of those wonderful gems of wisdom that Mattrice has dropped on us today. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and tell a friend. We have some empowerment announcements. The Empowerment Encouragement Cafe Women's Empowerment Virtual Workshop, Walk in Your Power, is scheduled to take place on Saturday, May the 27th from 9:30 to 11. You can register on the VOE website or at Eventbrite. And if you need to take a deeper dive and get unstuck, shift your perspective or shift your thinking, then get in touch with me for a one-on-one clarity coaching call, and or you can have a mastermind and a group coaching session that we also have. You can reach out to me on voicesoфencouragement.com. You can also find me on Instagram at VOE Today, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn on Voices of Encouragement LLC. Until we meet again, I love to say this, until we meet again, Ephesians 4:1, walk worthy of the call for which you were called.